Hello, and welcome to Proper Chat, a Love Island podcast. I'm Nicole, one of your four lovely hosts tonight. I'm here with four of my other friends and hosts, and we're going to talk about this week on Love Island All Stars. But before we do, everyone say hi, tell them their names, say what's up to the group.
Hi, what's up? This is Linda.
Hi, how's it going? It's Gabby.
Hi, I'm Brana.
Great. This episode will cover episodes 10 through 16 of Love Island All Stars Season 2. So if you haven't watched those episodes of Love Island All Stars, go watch them. Then you can come back and listen to this podcast because there will be spoilers. We are going to cover the top three moments from the week. We're going to play our iconic tier ranking game, and then we're going to give you some scoop on the streets. But before we do, I like to check in with the host, hear how everyone's week is going. Hey everyone, give us a high and low of your week. How's it been?
My highs of the week have been my in-laws have been visiting, and I had a really good time with them here. We were super productive. We did a lot of work on our property, which was exhausting, but also it felt really good to get it done. It was like more fire prevention stuff, which you know how it goes. It's something that we're like super aware of here where I live. Also, my mother-in-law surprised me today with a new gym membership, and it's like a really nice gym membership here in the area, so I'm like really excited. And I tried a new bar class today, and I had a lot of fun. What about you, Brenna?
Your new gym sounds fabulous. Can't wait to see what classes you take and get some videos of your dance classes.
I'm not doing
Um,
that.
yeah, my week was good, busy, but no complaints here. I feel like it's just a busy time of the year. We have so much Love Island to watch every day. There's so much other fun content on TV, Traders that some of us are watching. Also award season, which I always love. I've always loved award season since I was like a child, and the Grammys this weekend, so I'm excited to watch them. Just like some fun, frivolous content that is necessary these days. So, yeah. Longo, how's your week been?
So I just want to make a note on the Grammys. When I was looking that it's happening, I'm like, even in the fires, the Grammys like, we will go on.
The show must go on. The Grammys, the
Crazy.
Oscars, Hollywood stops for
I
nothing.
mean, apparently. How?
The fires are like more so contained, and I'm sure they'll do something for wildfire relief and whatnot, since it is like literally in LA. But yeah, that's
Maybe it will be like
they
a
stop
We
for
Are
no
the
one.
World. Maybe they'll do a We Are the World 2025 and have us
Yeah,
donate or
yeah, yeah.
something.
Hopefully it's not like the Imagine song a la 2020.
Oh my gosh.
That was so
So
funny.
my week's been hectic in a good and a bad way. So I'm looking forward to it being the weekend. My personal and professional life, it's just been a little crazy. So I look forward to Saturday. How
Well,
about you, Nicole? How about you?
I'm feeling the same. I was just talking with a friend about how January has felt like 6 months. Like it's just been a month and it's felt like this year is long already. Like what the
Yeah.
hell? Anyway, I'm ready for February in a weird, fun way. But something that's been giving me a bit of levity is I've been watching a reality TV show on Netflix called Singles Inferno. It's a
Mhm.
Me
Korean
too.
one. Oh, you've been watching it? It's
I've already watched the whole thing. I'm like update. Like
oh.
I binge watch this show. It's like one of my favorite shows.
I love it. I've been watching it since it started coming out, and they've been like releasing them on a slow drip lately, and that's been
Yes.
really fun to watch. Anyway, recommend it for any people who love reality shows in general. It's definitely like
Wholesome.
it's not as sexy as I mean, it's still kind of sexy, but it's not
Oh
as
my God, are you
sexy
kidding?
as Love compared to Love Island. No way. But it's like subtly cute, and I think the culture moves slowly, so the way that they progress is very subtle, and everyone analyzes micro movements and everything. It's very cute and I enjoy it quite a bit. I'm glad you watch it too, Gabby. We'll have to discuss.
So excited to hear you watch it.
All right, so we're going to get into the top 3 moments of the week, starting off with, of course, Ronnie and Harriet. We kicked off last week with our girl Harriet coming back during the kissing challenge. She came in while the boys were blindfolded, and Ronnie, of course, instantly knew that it was her, and he even gave her a 10 off the bat, even though he was still coupled up with Elma at the time. And from that point on, it was really the Harriet and Ronnie show. Maybe their couple name is Harry. We can just call them Harry as their little couple name. Literally, it was just him professing his love to her several times, us getting also more scoop on why they broke up and what they've been up to since they left the villa. Because I think the last thing we all saw was that photo that went viral on Instagram of them holding hands, looking like the power couple of the UK. And then a month or two later, they were like, oh, well, they broke up. We definitely have talked about it on the show here, saying we were sad when they got kicked off, and we were hoping they would come back because it would be great content. And the producers definitely were like, all right, y'all asked for it. Here you go. And they fed us the Harry and Ronnie content this week. They definitely took up like so much of the plot line. So I'm just curious what you all think. Are you happy they're back? Are we over it? I feel like in the beginning I was personally happy they were back, but like now after several days, I'm like, okay, let's carry on now. But what do you all think?
Lunga had thoughts. You were making some noises there.
I think it's too much. Because I also was like, wow, I didn't know I was signing up to watch the Ronnie and Harriet show. Fine, they're back. Also, I don't really think I was that into Harriet anyway, besides her walk that season. So I feel like all she did was like moan about Ron. And then now she played like hard to get for 5 seconds. And then obviously now we're like back. And she's, oh no, I want to get to know other people. But it's just weird. And then Ron is also throwing me off. Oh, he basically is like publicly declaring his love for her. I was like, what is happening? Cannot be the same guy who like 3 days ago. Like it just was such a confusing thing. And then now he's, oh, I've never felt this way about a woman. And I just don't trust it because I feel like men are such trash, they'll say anything. So I feel like Harriet really likes him. So she's obviously falling for it. But I also think for him, I'm like, and he was like, oh, I want to be with you and whatever. But I'm like, why could we have not done this at off camera? I just feel like, I don't know, were they trying to redo you know how they were saying Joey and Grace were kind of like a made up sort of relationship thing? I'm like, were they trying to do a real version of it, fall in love on camera, exes and fall in love? But I'm like, that's not what Love Island is. This is not Ex on the Beach. This isn't the ultimatum. Like, this is not what we want. I mean, personally, we meaning me.
That's interesting because I agree with a lot of your thoughts, but also I'm like kicking my heels a little bit at this version of Ronnie that is like, no, I love you. I'm a changed man. Not that I believe him fully, but like to see him do this fully explain things to Elma, break it off, and be like, no, I'm a changed man. And I don't know. For me, it's very entertaining to watch. Do I think that they're gonna make it be the perfect couple right off into the sunset? No, I think actually, and this might explain why they didn't work on the outside. They're really bad at communicating. Even in that one argument that we saw this week where it was like, Ekin Sue said, you don't love me anymore. She said, oh, what did I say? And then they had to go over to Ekin Sue, and then it was this whole
Oh,
drama.
Ekin
And
always sticking her nose in
oh my God, girl
everywhere.
stirring the pot. She's like a side producer. She's
I
like,
feel like she came just to stir the pot. She's like, I've got Curtis
100%.
and I'm here to push it.
oh,
She is
100%.
the producer. She
Yeah.
is a producer. She's not playing a producer. She literally is a producer. I think the
She got
producers, like, yeah, they chose her specifically. They briefed her. They gave her a whole job description, and she's definitely
I hope she's getting paid. Let's just be clear about that. Anywho, I think just to tie it up, I think that they have very serious issues about communication and were never on the same page. And then when they finally were, I think that we have the right to question Ronnie and be like, well, now, why now, kind of thing. But is his like feelings and intentions, I think, sincere? I think they are. I think he's just a little bit of a doofus. My 2 cents.
Also, we haven't gotten to Casa more, girly.
That's true. That's true.
We
He can
need a
prove me
test.
wrong. He
We
can
need a
prove me wrong.
test for Ronnie. Yeah.
Okay.
I also think that Harriet didn't have a chance to stand strong in her word. There was no one that really sparked her interest. It's almost if she wanted to stay on the show, she really did have to be with Ronnie. I don't know. Ron didn't give her the time of day, so I didn't see anyone there for her. So it's almost like she was really pushed to be with Ronnie. I was really hoping she would stand her ground, get to know somebody, and in the end come together again with Ronnie, but that didn't happen. And to be honest, I do feel a little bit like what Nicole said. I'm like, I do love seeing this version of Ronnie. It has made me excited for them.
Yeah, well, we will see what happens with them this week. I'm sure there will be more drama ahead. And speaking of drama, I think the biggest drama of the week outside of these two was, of course, the big old fight with Scott and Luca. So the villa got treated to Vegas night a few nights ago. And I would just like to say, I would love to know who is planning these like random theme nights. It just feels so random too because it's like Vegas, they're all like from the UK and like Vegas is in America. It's not like Love Island USA, but I don't know. It just all the themes are always so like cheesy. So just curious on that thought process. But anywho, they had Vegas night, and of course there was plenty of drama. They're all playing a game, and things get heated between Scott and Luca. And in the heat of the moment, Luca decides to share with the whole class that Scott shares with him earlier that day that he isn't sure about his future with Tina, which he hadn't even communicated to her yet. And everyone pops off and starts arguing with each other. Poor Tina is crying and saying at one point she said I want to leave. I want to leave the show. Like it was really dramatic. And Scott, you could see, felt so hurt by Luca just like outing their private conversation in front of everyone. And I don't know, it's so interesting because just last week when we were recording the podcast, we all talked about how, oh, we're rooting for Luca. We like seeing this new vulnerable side of him and everything. But then this week, and how he cried last week, and then this week he's just like going and being so immature and like so rude to Scott. So yeah, curious what you all thought about that moment.
I think unpopular opinion probably was that like I have felt before that people, like when they're in their emotions, they act more like a Luca. Like they say stuff they don't mean, and then it's, oh, shoot. And then it's hard to, I feel like it takes a special person to be able to communicate and determine, hey, this is how I feel, and this is what I shouldn't say. I think. So I feel like it wasn't crazy that he was upset and was like saying blurting out thing. What was crazy, I think, was the Tina situation, just like bringing that up. That was, to me, I feel like I would have known, like my gut would have immediately stopped me from saying Tina, something about Tina, if I was in his position. I probably would have said, hey, you're being annoying, or something to Scott, because Scott was like poking him at the time. It was just like the severity of it. But one of the things I really loved was that scene when they were talking, like Scott and Luca were making up. I just felt like Scott was so mature in that moment, and you could tell there was a huge difference in maturity for Scott. And I just love to see that. And he like put himself in his shoes and was like, hey, I know what happened. You just kept talking and things just got ahead of you, and we're okay. I know your heart. I know you didn't mean to, and we're fine. And then he starts crying, which is so sad to see. I don't know. Luca crying to me is like it's like gets to a point in my heart where I'm like, I can't see this. I really can't. Luca doesn't normally cry, so it's kind of strange. I don't know how you guys felt about that scene, but
Yeah. Yeah, Luca's in
yeah.
his feels this season, which has been interesting to watch. I agree. I think that To your point about Scott and Luca, I remember watching that scene and being like, wait, did I miss something? And going back to the beginning of that scene because I was like, did someone say something off? And it really wasn't, it didn't start with anything serious. Someone said, oh, you gotta say what you're saying, bro. And then Scott was like, what do you mean, bro? And then they both kind of came at each other from this really stupid place. And they were just like upset for no reason. And then that's how it kind of like brought out this side in Luca that then he like said this thing that he really regrets. And I think when Scott was like coming to him and being like, I respect you, bro, and I forgive you. It really cut to the like guilt inside of him, feeling like, oh, you're right. I did get to this place with you. We both got to this heated place. And also, I said something that hurt someone, and he felt bad about that. So I honestly, I don't think anyone's an enemy in this. Obviously, Luca shouldn't have blurted that thing out about Tina, but I think in the heat of the moment, going back, I was like, who started it? I just wanted to know who started it, and no one did. It was just stupid.
My point of view, just really quickly on that, was it almost felt like, did it not feel like Grace had chosen Scott on something? And then there was like a little tiny bit of jealousy there because then, or Scott kissed Grace. There was a little bit
Yes.
of
Yeah.
kind of
Hmm.
discomfort there.
Hmm.
And then in the question is something around like, who would you pick or something like that. And then
Yes.
Scott's, I want to tell you, but I won't go there. And then that's kind of what that's just assumptions that
Hmm.
I made
Hmm.
based on the series of events that happened. So it's almost like Scott was kind of like started a little bit of something. He knew, I think he just knew at the end of the day that he did make him upset. Luca wouldn't have just gotten upset out of nothing. It just feel like Scott kind of poked someone that like when you know someone really well and you know how to poke them, I think he did that towards Luca. We didn't get necessarily get to see it, but I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I actually, what you just said, Gabby, I was like, that's correct. Because I think what triggered it is that I think there was a moment where Scott showed interest in Grace. And obviously, Luca's been dying to someone the whole time. And obviously, we've learned from his season with Gemma, when he likes someone, he tends to not like to share. So I feel like definitely that was a trigger point for him. But then on top of that, obviously, Scott sort of played on it. And then obviously, I think to get back at him, because obviously Luca was coming from a place of hurt and being like, okay, if you want to go for the girl that I like, how about I tell you a girl? Do you understand what I mean? And poor Tina's like collateral damage. But I just feel that both of them were in the wrong. Definitely Luca's feelings were hurt. And I think just because he's already been on such a journey so far, and obviously with the crying, and I just think that it was a low blow even for Luca, because Luca didn't have to do that. And in the end, even hurted someone who wasn't involved in the fight. And I also think, I don't think Scott was wrong of trying to kiss Grace. He was just answering the question, got blown out of proportion, and then poor Tina got thrown in the gutter. But I guess Grace is fine with Luca, because I know they had a little bit of a tiff, because after that fight, things were a little bit heightened between them and there was a little bit of annoyance on there. But I feel like they obviously took the time to speak it out, because she was like, I'd like certain things you did would have given me the ick. So I feel like it seems very interesting that they're getting to know each other. But also another couple I just wouldn't have assumed would be happening, but that's for later. Anyway, over to you, Berna.
Yes, so our third big moment of the week was yesterday's episode. In episode 18, it ended with a little bit of a twist. The Islanders got to enjoy a party outside of the villa. And of course, those parties always end with repercussions and Maya walking in. And
Mhm.
she declared that the public had been voting for their favorite girl and favorite boy, which is such a cutthroat voting thing to experience. If you were to then find out on the opposite side that you were least favorite, I can't even imagine being
Mhm.
in that situation personally. I just think I would be crushed if I was the least favorite. I couldn't handle that. But the public declared their favorite girl was Elma and that their favorite boy was Luca. I definitely feel like she seems like a great girl, and obviously also she's been through the ringer with the whole Ronnie situation. So I feel like the public's definitely voting for out of not pity, but just feel bad for the girl because of everything she's been through. And similarly to Luca too, I think obviously he's had his emotional moments throughout the season, and almost felt like the public were also voting for him as like, oh, this like
I
ev
agree.
we like to see a vulnerable man. So what do you think, Langa?
I definitely agree with the reason why Luca, because again, obviously they voted a couple of days ago. And I feel like with these votes, they're like, you have 15 minutes to decide. Because I've been listening to sometimes when they let's see how
Yeah.
long they let someone. So if you've just seen Luca cry, you're like, oh, Luca. And obviously people maybe they not saying he didn't deserve it, but I also feel like I guess he's fine. I feel like I don't know, like I don't know. But I was just like, okay, cool, Luca, but I think it's because of the crying. And then Alma, I think she is a really sweet girl. And I think also maybe she got voted like favorite girl because she is really sweet. She's a great friend, is very forgiving to Kaz and stuff like that. But I also think one of the a very driving force of someone to pick her was because she had been hurt by Ron. So obviously a lot of people were just like maybe she handled that really well and stuff like that. So I think again it is people can vote for whoever they want, but it's just interesting, the reasons why they vote for someone.
The
Um
only contradictory part of that
mhm.
is that Tina was in the bottom. And that the whole Luca situation where Tina ended up getting hurt happened right before the voting too. I'm not
Oh,
saying
true.
that like
Yeah.
people, I agree. I
Mhm,
think to
mhm.
your point, like people tend to vote for like
Maybe
situations
they
where
don't
they
like Tina.
empathize with person. Yeah, but like maybe I'm like, why didn't it extend to Tina because she
Mhm.
went through the
Mhm.
ringer the day before? But I don't know.
Totally.
I feel like Tina's not, sorry to interrupt you, but I don't think Tina's that everyone's friend. Because I feel like when we're watching like the episodes, I don't ever see Tina, but I'm thinking about it. Like I've seen what's her name sitting down with what's the blonde nice Gab it's not Gabby. Is it Gabby? The blonde one? Like
Gabby.
I've seen her talk to Gabby and I've seen her with Kaz. I feel like she has like sort of like range on the show versus
Yeah.
no offense to Tina. I don't know what the girl's doing
Yeah,
during the
totally.
day.
She's also not an OG, and I think like people love to vote for the OGs or the people that started because they've seen more of them and like they like come to
But
identify
Alma
with
got
them.
voted out early, remember? She walked in with Moira, so she barely even made into the show.
No, but she was the OG to start the season. That's what
Oh,
I mean. So like
okay,
all the
understood.
OGs
Oh,
from
understood.
and Tina's new. It takes a while for the public to get
Hmm.
to know everyone. Anyway, just a point that I
No,
thought
fair.
was interesting. Also, Montel was in the bottom too as well. So I feel like it has to do with some sort of like recency. Like they were just both new and fresh and the public didn't
We
know
didn't
them.
get airtime. Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't we didn't get to see them.
I also think that like the public, at least I don't know how you guys felt because we haven't talked about it, but the fact that Montel also chose Kaz when a lot of people thought he was going to choose Catherine probably also didn't sway votes in his direction as much
I
because
didn't think he was
everyone,
gonna
eh,
pick Catherine.
you didn't?
No.
I was
Really?
pissed.
I
I
don't
was
think he's
pissed about
gonna
it.
I don't think he's gonna pick her because also he kept saying to her like, hey, I know you from the outside, but also people tend to like, I'm not trying to say men only, but I feel like in Love Island setting, people kind of are trying to like maybe try and meet new people and
Mm.
lean more towards that. And I think Montel has was something new for him, something to get to know. And obviously Catherine, not no offense to her, but like he in his mind, he'd be like, she's always going to be there. So I think he was like,
Mm,
let me shoot my shot. Because even though he was told both of them, like, oh, don't worry, Catherine, I'll still spend time with you. He was full on kissing Kaz the whole time.
yeah,
So I just think for him, he's like, Catherine was just I feel like for him, Catherine's an opportunity for him to try even outside the villa. So I think he's probably been eyeing Kaz being like, she's hot. I want to see how I can do in here. And also, who's to say he's not going to go try out with Catherine now that once she gets out?
very true.
Mm,
Yeah.
true.
I
So
think
then we had Elma and Luca after they got their nominations as favorites. They also then had the tough job to eliminate three Islanders and only save one. So, like we said, the four Islanders at the bottom were Kaz, Naz, Montel, and Tina. And sadly, after lots of tears from Elma, poor girl felt so guilty having to make that decision. They did choose to save Tina, which I think made sense in a way, just because Kaz and Montel, in my opinion, felt like okay, if they're gonna dump them both, at least dump them together And we all know that Nas had nobody there for him, Mr. Slow Burner. So the only one who had someone else in the villa who would be affected if they left was Tina. So I understood that logic that they had, but it was a bummer to see Kaz go. I was like the most surprised that she was the one voted off because, to Nicole's point, she was an OG girl from the beginning of the season and everyone really liked her and she was like fun to watch. So I was sad.
I was sad about her too. I didn't watch her original season, but I grew to love her and was surprised that the public would vote her in the bottom. But I
Yeah.
think she did like Ekin Su like to stir the pot, but she's like less popularly stirring the pot sometimes. And I'm sad to see her go because I like her a lot.
Ugh, same. But would you guys have chosen anybody but Tina amongst that group? I don't
Honestly,
think so. I think it just made sense for me. I was
yeah.
like, I
I mean,
mean, it
maybe
was shock.
Catherine.
No. But from that group, like the
Oh.
Kaz, Nas, Montel,
I would
and
have
Tina.
chosen Kaz because I like her. And I feel like Elma, they're friends. And I feel like Luca kind of is also friends with Kaz. So, sometimes on the show, people do tend to, I know it's like Love Island, but I do find that sometimes people do keep saving their friends. So I feel like maybe Kaz and Montel are having a thing, but also Kaz is nice to have around. She's fun, she's funny. And now Casey's all loved up. She doesn't have to worry about yelling at him. And I just think she's just a fun addition to the villa versus Tina. I just feel like,
Yeah. But imagine if
But
Luca sent Tina home.
exactly. Yes, exactly what I was gonna say. After that
Yeah.
whole
No way he could have done that.
situation, no
Scott would have
way.
been
Scott would
pissed.
have come with hams. He would have been like,
That would have
we're
been
not
the
bros
end.
anymore.
Yeah. Plus, she might also be like, well, Luca, you must hate me. My feelings. Now you want me to get on the show.
It was just like a no-brainer to me. After the whole blow up, it's like, who's he gonna pick? Uh, it just
Yeah,
made sense.
it sucks.
All right, now it's the time for the infamous proper ranking game. And in this game, we rank contestants based on a set of categories. And now I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so the categories of this week are strong couples, potential connections, and just couples that we think just gotta go. And then we'll also talk about the islanders who have been dumped in the villa. We can probably start with some of those contestants who were dumped from the villa since last time we talked.
Wow, that's a lot.
Olivia. Yeah, so I mean, Olivia and Marcel, do you guys think that they will stay together at all?
Oh my,
I
everyone in Gotta Go is gone. I'm
Oh
dead.
yeah, I put them there for a reason.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if you guys want to talk about any of these, but do you guys think that Kaz, I mean, a couple of these things I was thinking through as I was thinking of who had left this week. So
Mhm.
like Kaz, do you guys think that she's gonna be upset with Elma, or are they gonna stay friends, or is she gonna feel like she just got betrayed? What do you guys think about that?
don't know. I think she left the villa with her head high and gave Elma a hug and said, it's not your fault. And I don't know. She seems to take it well and on the chin. I think she'll be okay. And I actually think her and Montel might do chat on the outside and it might be good things. I hope. They seem cute together.
Yeah, definitely. Montel, we didn't see much of him. I don't really even have like I didn't even feel anything when he left almost. So I feel good that they left together, sadly.
Yeah. I think they have
Totally.
more of a shot than Olivia and Marcel. Let's be real here.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think Olivia's about to be a stepmom to Marcel's
Oh
kid.
no. Oh no.
She's not doing
That's what
that.
I was thinking. And I honestly don't think that they were a good fit anyway. I feel like she was just playing the field and Marcel was just like the safe one there. And I think that's what was happening. She was just like waiting for someone to come in and steal her away.
I agree.
But the one thing about Olivia is like she has like such an interesting personality. I don't think she's like as vulnerable as other girls, so it's like really hard for people to even pick her because I feel like she puts on this like hard shell. So I feel like she would have just stayed with Montel Marcel and then no one would have they probably would have stayed the whole time through unless, they were voted out.
Hmm.
So now we can talk about who we think are strong couples versus potential connections we see happening versus people that we just think have to just go, that we're done with them. Some new bombshells this week. We talked about Tina, so we can start there. Tina, we saw was like really affectionate towards Scott. We see that she like really connects with him and gets really close with him, but it kind of scares Scott. Do you guys think that Scott and Tina are going to stay as like a potential connection, or do you think that or would you even consider them like a strong couple after that fight?
Oh, I'm so confused by them because Scott is like a mature guy who's looking for someone to settle down with. And Tina is saying, here I am. I am like mature and ready for a man. And the second that she got too close, he was like, whoa, 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 hold on. I need to set some boundaries here. And it threw her off and threw me off because then he felt more comfortable with her when he said that. He like she even Tina said it. She said his walls are more down, but mine are more up. Like we're
Yeah.
not ever in the same place, but he feels more comfortable after this thing. So I don't know. I think they're potentially still very attracted to each other. I just feel like Scott might turn his head if he finds someone else who's really invested in him. That's my honest opinion about it.
I agree with you,
Right.
Nicole.
Yeah.
I think my general question with Scott was that he was telling the guys that he kind of was like not sure of Tina. So I'm just wondering, are his intentions like real after that, or was he like trying to backtrack because Luca had already told the whole team, the whole group that he was like kind of turned off from Tina. So I'm not even sure if they have a potential connection, but I do think that that's where they probably best fit
Hmm.
after their last fight.
Yeah.
For now.
For now, yeah. So we'll leave him there. What about so Harriet came in, we talked about her. Did you guys, I mean, we talked about her in like for a long time. So do you guys think that there's anyone that could come in for Harriet or specifically for Ronnie, or do you think that they're just going to, they're not a couple right now, so do you think that they're going to move towards being a very strong couple, or is there someone that could potentially like turn their heads?
You saying Harriet and Ron or Harriet and Ronnie?
Ronnie. I think
Uh,
they're probably going to be coupling up, right? Like next. I don't see them coupling up with anyone else.
I would say still potential connections, whether with each other or with other people, because I feel like it's been like a couple of days and Ronnie he's like expressed his feelings, but it's been 5 minutes and I'm not believing it yet personally that it falls into strong couples.
They
Nicole
need
might
Yeah.
object, but
no, I think they're like in like still in this, oh, we've seen each other again and we're like rekindling love bubble. I don't know how long it'll last. They need, like you guys said earlier, they need a test. I think that would be the best way to tell.
Totally. I agree with that. Rana, what do you
Rana.
think?
Yeah, they can stay in potential connections for now. We'll see how they behave this week.
Yeah. So a couple that we've seen that has been really strong from the very start has been Curtis and Ekin.
Hmm.
So do you guys think that they will stay strong? I won't reveal too much, but just from like things that are going to come out in the episode for today, it sounds like there's a little drama with Ekin being a little upset with Curtis, potentially
Oh,
like chatting with a girl. So
I mean,
not really
good.
a spoiler, but it's kind of
Hmm.
like I feel like I had to bring that up because it's like we would have for sure put them in strong couples, but now I'm like a lot of people after today's episode have been chatting about how Ekin has been like is going a little Ekin on the situation.
I don't have any thoughts other than, yeah, I would have put them in strong. I think they do. I think they have caught feels to the point of either they're going to fully commit and be strong, or if a test comes in, I can see Ekin being like very pissed at Curtis. But then also at the same time, Ekin's not necessarily known for being like the most loyal, right? Miss Crawl on the balcony. So
Right.
Yeah, I think for me, I understand Ekin and Curtis sort of like each other, but I feel as much as they're like, oh, we like each other and we gave each other a chance, I just don't feel like they're allowed each other sort of to talk through other people in the villa. But I think it's also to a point that even if Curtis was interested to talk to someone, I feel like he's too scared because Ekin is very hectic because remember how she was upset for some reason and she was like, no, give me 5 minutes and then come back and get me. Like those kind
Yeah.
of things, like I feel Curtis was sort of like
That scared me.
exactly. So I just think that Curtis is definitely more, he's obviously just, even if he wants to explore anything else, he doesn't feel like he really can. And I feel like Ikin feels like she wears the pants. I don't know if it's because she's just
100%.
I'm not putting up with any guy and I'm taking control of this exercise and all she's here to do is stir the pot. But I do feel like even if Curtis was potentially interested in someone, the poor guy is petrified.
Yeah, no, it's actually like kind of crazy to see their dynamic. Even after the kissing challenge too, their whole fight where he was like upset with her, but she was like, "No, I'm more upset with you." And then it ended up being like she totally dominated that whole fight where her being upset with him became the bigger priority than him being upset with her. She was like, "Oh, you're upset with me? Well, let me talk about what you did." Um, and every time you said, I've never kissed that girl, which, like, yeah, that was like stupid and annoying, but not that deep. That was just like a silly thing for him to keep saying. But then her being like going all out and grabbing all the guys and whatnot. I thought they both had valid points in their annoyance with each other about the kissing challenge, but I just thought it was so funny how the whole fight that he came to her saying he was upset, but then it ended up being that she was upset. So it's the action show.
Yeah, I can relate
She's an
to this.
actress, you know?
Yeah. I think out of everyone though, they have right now probably like the strongest connection
Hmm.
Yeah.
potentially.
Hmm.
I was really surprised because I wasn't in the last recording because I was sick, but you guys were kind of like not sure at all about Casey and Gabby. And you were thinking, Gabby, she needs to stand up for herself. We had like some mixed emotions on them, but then they go to the hideaway. And now my question to you guys is, do you guys think that after their steamy connection after the hideaway makes them than stronger now as a couple? Or do you guys think that still Casey or Gabby might turn heads if
You
someone better
know,
were to come in?
yeah, it was funny because up until yesterday's episode where they got to go to the hideaway, we didn't see much of them all week, and to the point where I almost like forgot that they were there, especially Gabby. At least like Casey inserts himself with the boys more often, so we'll see him more from time to time. But we didn't see them as a couple at all, really, up until the hideaway. And then shortly before that, Gabby mentioning how what oh, I don't know about our connection just because we haven't been intimate yet. And she vocalized that was an important thing for her to see the future. And then shortly after they got to go to the hideaway. And yeah, it seemed like they were both happy and into each other. At this point, I don't think anyone else would turn Gabby's head. Casey, we know him very well. I can't say that with certainty, but he does seem the most serious about her that he has of any of the girls that we've seen him with on the show, at least.
Totally. I think he even said after the hideaway that was like his favorite day of the whole his like Love Island career. He said Love Island career because he's been on
Yeah.
so many
He
things.
spent all his Januaries in South Africa.
Lucky him.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
And one of the things that Gabby mentioned was that she could not feel a strong connection until they were intimate. She said that before even having the opportunity to go to the hideaway. And then the hideaway happened, so we can just assume. And she comes out really happy and excited. And so it almost makes me feel like they're heading towards being like a really strong couple.
Yeah, they did it.
Oh, 100% they did
I didn't think
it.
he's like, did what? Ron's like, did
Yeah,
what?
did what?
I
Yeah.
honestly, speaking of doing it, I hate the foot, but they always have that, they have to show us the foot. I'm like, yeah, we don't like, we don't have, they don't show us that for the fantasy suites. You don't have to see.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. They always have to show a rogue foot.
And it's like, crap. Oh my God. Anyway.
The next couple, we talked about them a little bit, but Luca and Grace, I feel like their connection has become a lot stronger.
Hmm.
But a rumor, this is not a spoiler or anything because we've had this rumor for a very long time, is that Sammy as in Sammy that used to date Tom, who is now with Molly. That Sammy, the brunette Sammy that kind of gives Gemma vibes,
Hmm.
that she's gonna come in potentially. And it's been rumored pretty
Hmm.
heavily. I don't know if she's gonna come in, but that's been the rumor. Do you guys think that if someone like that comes in and comes in for Luca, that Luca will turn heads? Or do you think that Luca is like dead set on Grace?
I'm so conflicted on them because I think they're like both like I think I mentioned this
Not each
last
other's
episode.
types.
Yeah, they're like both the
Mm.
most attractive people in the villa. So like naturally you would be like, oh, they'll gravitate towards each other. But Luca tends to go for the darker brunette, like moody kind of girls, and whereas Grace is like this bubbly blonde who doesn't go for the Luca type. So
Hmm.
I see their progression. It looks and it feels authentic, but I don't know long term if they're meant for each other. I feel like I still need to see more of them.
So I'll keep them as like potential connections because I do think that they could potentially have something, but definitely not each other's type. And I would have never put them two together for sure. Okay, so then we're heading towards the last three people,
Hmm.
which my question is, are they going to find someone? So it's Elma, she's single and alone, and there's Catherine, single and alone, and Ron, single and alone. Do you guys think that out of these three people, anyone's gonna come for any of these three people, or do you guys think we've seen enough of them? They gotta go.
I don't know. It's interesting because Elma was the top girl. And then also, we hypothesized that one of the reasons why Montel was in the bottom is because he didn't choose Catherine. And I do think Catherine has a pretty big fan base
Hmm.
of people that are obsessed with her. If I were a producer on Love Island, I would say here are the most two popular girls in there. We gotta send someone in for them. And I hope they do. In terms of Ron, I don't know. He's floating. He's on a holiday. I feel like
You
he needs
gotta
to
go.
go.
Yeah, no one's like falling for whatever his usual charm is. I don't know if he even has a charm because obviously Lana fell for him like day one, and then he then could be just like a cocky guy throughout the season because he knew he could lean on her the whole time. So I feel like I don't know if he's like that much, he doesn't feel that much of a hit as he felt like maybe in his season. But going to Catherine, I really want to like Catherine, but I feel like Catherine feels like she doesn't, or maybe they don't show enough for it, but I don't see enough of like Catherine's personality. Like, I think she's super great, but then I'm also like, it's hard for me to root for her because I'm also like, besides like getting scoop from what other girls' dates are like or complaining about this guy, I've never seen like a specific particular fun thing about her. Because, like, for example, Kaz, even though when she was floating on her own, she still had like a great personality that you were like, cool, this is so nice to have her around. Catherine, I'm just like, she's always complaining. Is most of the screen time we get, which I mean, she can because it's she wants to meet someone. But again, they haven't necessarily really put anyone there for her. I really want to root for her, but I'm also like, unfortunately, maybe her personality is not as dynamic as someone that should come on a dating show. Maybe she's fantastic as a person to like date on the outside versus have someone come on a show like this that like sort of needs some sort of a proper storyline.
Totally.
Love the girl, not sure if Love Island is the show for her.
Totally. I was just thinking this as you were saying that too. I got the vibe early in the season too that she was maybe more nervous than others. Everyone fit in and kind of like
Mm.
got to know each other. And I don't know why, but I get the vibe from her that she isn't totally comfortable or totally herself. And
Mm.
that might be because there's no one in there for her to like feel like she can be herself. Or
Mhm.
maybe she's just like, you're right, like better at dating on the outside and totally comfortable in this dating scenario. And
Mhm.
anyway, happy to support her finding her person, but if it's not on Love Island, maybe that might be the best place.
I honestly wonder the same about Elma too, though. I feel like I don't necessarily know if I see someone coming in and and being that perfect match for her. I feel like she's had a rough start, and I feel like when you've had a rough start for such a long period of time, I feel like we rarely see that at this point things change so drastically. But as much as I would love that for both of those girls, I think they're great.
Okay, the only counterpoint to that, Brana, is
Hmm.
did y'all see the preview for tonight's episode and who's walking in?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know about him.
He's I don't think they would make a perfect match. But in
Yeah.
terms of like guys that are like Ronnie lad type dudes,
Yes. Yes.
this man fits that vibe.
And
And
his
so
and he's got he actually might be one of my top 3 islanders with the best bodies. Honestly, that was the spoiler I saw, and I kind of was like, he's not hot, but his body throughout the season, I was like,
Oh, that's
he's
interesting.
also tall like Ronnie. And
oh
I
no,
think
never mind. That's not who I actually. Let me
What?
Wait, who
Who
are you
are we
thinking?
talking about? I'm sorry. The
I'm
person
thinking,
who wants
let's say it at the same time. One,
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 two,
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 three.
three,
Sammy.
Sammy.
Yes, yes.
Wait, I think, but I feel like we're envisioning different men.
No, Sammy. Yes, who won with Jace.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
How
tall.
is he
What the
short? How
hell?
is he
Sorry, I
tall?
forgot
He's
he's
not
tall.
tall.
I don't remember, but
He's
I thought
freaking
he's
tall.
so fit. But
I
his face, no. His body, 10 out of 10.
Okay, let me
What?
look this up, you guys. I
Ron,
need to know how
what the
actually-
hell
tall.
is going on?
I don't know if I would call him his body type hot, but he
Me
is very
neither.
I like
he's
his
like
body.
ripped,
I don't
but
even
he's not
remember
like
his body.
Oh, I remember.
I think it's because he's
Same.
like the like skinny fit. Like I don't remember
Yes.
him being
He
like
also doesn't give
bulky.
tall energy. He's
No.
tall.
He's tall.
And
He's
another
tall?
person
Okay,
that
well,
I
don't
heard
Google
is
because we're gonna get spoilers. So
Okay, you
okay,
guys.
guys, the tall conversation is making me remember that Brana, you just sent me this thing that says
Oh,
that
yes.
Casey's tall.
Casey
How
is
is
tall, apparently.
Casey is
He's like
not
6
6
feet.
foot.
get
And
out.
he gives like
Stop.
5'8" energy.
No, he's like
No, he's
5'5".
not. No,
I'm
he's
dead.
not. That's crazy.
Okay, go back to
Yes.
the.
Sammy apparently is 6.
Wow, I love that for
I'm
us.
shocked.
I love that. I love a 6'3".
Okay, Sam, I'm so confused. Like Sammy won. Why is he back? Is
Well,
my
so did
question. But
Ekin.
anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot she won. Oh my God. That's so true.
And she
Okay.
even went on and had another show with Davide. I mean, Ekin's been.
She's
That's why
booked and
she's
busy.
producer.
Ekin's-
She's working.
Yeah, she's
She's
working her way
working.
up.
Yeah.
She's
Next
gonna
next
direct the
thing you
next
know, exactly. Next thing you know, she's gonna be like the director, the official director of the show.
Next
All
thing
right,
she's
you
coming for
guys.
Maya's job.
No, yeah, I was thinking of that too. The only other thought that I had before concluding this wonderful tier ranking game is that a lot of people, I don't know if I'm in Catherine Scott TikTok, but a
Yes.
lot of people are like, bring Scott back. This man has been back like 3 times to Love Island, like 3 times already. This would be his 4th time. But this is the only time when people have been like, bring him back. We've never wanted him back, but people really want him back. But he's like out there talking to Whitney and visiting Whitney in like all these different places. So anyway, I hope that if anyone were to come for Catherine, it would be Scott, and we could actually like play that in our TV.
Give the fans what they want.
Yes. All right, that concludes our proper tier ranking game. I will post our predictions like I always do on our socials, so please let us know what you think.
What's the scoop on the streets? On the streets? Okay, time for scoop on the streets. Welcome to Scoop on the Streets. And this week, I feel like the streets are a little bit more piping hot, I mean, to an extent. So apparently, within the first week of filming, they actually took a 48-hour hiatus of filming because there was just too much drama in the villa. So, this was according to Olivia. She was saying that there was constantly ongoing, that they had to sort of stop filming so that they could diffuse a lot of the tempers and stuff so they could continue filming.
Did they say with
What?
who
But I
or?
want to
I
know.
think it was a mixture of like the Casey drama, like those kind of things. So it was a time where I think everyone's getting on people's nerves in that first week that they were just like, we need to get past this. But I think they weren't getting past it in terms of as a group. And then they had to just to defuse it. They just told everyone you get 2 days off to calm down.
Whoa.
Wait, the Casey drama? Can you remind
But
me?
when Kaz yelled at Casey about because remember this is what week one, basically
Oh,
saying
yeah.
that like he basically slept with all the Love Island girls.
Okay, so he walked in and then things got heated and they were like,
Yes.
we need to stop seeing Casey for
Yes.
48 hours
Well, I
before.
think it just probably was a little, maybe it was ongoing, but she was saying
Mm,
that there was there was drama.
interesting.
That would
Damn.
make
I didn't know
sense
they could do
because
that.
well, but that would make sense because the show got a little stale during that time. So I can see they didn't have much content
Mm,
during the time that they stopped filming.
Mm,
damn.
Because
They should have kept filming.
I know they should have just kept filming. We wanted to see that. That's
yeah.
what we
That's what
want to
we're here
see.
for.
I think also they said that the reason why like they might have also like given them the time off because so much had happened in that short amount of time that they actually were like it was like a lot of content that they were like this is too because I feel like we reacted the same way. We were like, wow, it's just the beginning. This is too much. So I think the producers also are like on top of let's not have it fight this long, but I think they also were like, you gave us a week's worth of content in the early days that like we can give you guys some time off. And she said that a lot of them spend time like eating chocolates and biscuits and they just relaxed and they kicked it and hung out. Apparently, Kieran, he is spotted in the wild dating another basically not Nicole, but I don't know if you recall, but like during his season, remember there was that girl Ellie that came into Casa Amor and how she was like, oh, I know him from the outside, and then
Yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah,
blonde,
yeah.
and then he sort of was like, yeah, no, nothing happened. Apparently, they've been seen on the streets going on dates.
Wow, the one he like
Damn.
was in the
Oh.
DMs with, and they had to explain all the DMs to
Yes, yeah.
Nicole. Oh my
Hmm.
God.
So apparently,
Nicole
they're
is
on the street.
fuming.
Oh my
She's
God.
fuming right
That
now.
necklace is in the trash.
She's burned it.
Oh,
Damn.
wow.
Wow.
The
So
That's
girl he
good.
told you not to worry about.
literally,
Every
Isn't that how
time.
it always works? Damn.
Oh.
Um, so another piece of story, I did actually not watch this particular season. Maybe Nicole, you did, but I think it's Jack from season 4. I can't remember who he won with, but like he not apparently this is the truth. He has been jailed for 6 weeks because his dog, like his really large dog, attacked a man.
What?
my God.
Yeah. So
This is crazy.
that's why I
I'm
said the
like
streets.
actually shook.
Yeah. So he's in there for 6 weeks and yeah, it is what it is. And because he just was like letting his dog do his own thing. And he
My
won just to
gosh.
be like he won with Danny. That's who Jack won with on the show, but that's not his current partner. But in that's I guess Love Island is going to jail. I don't know if it's the first one, but maybe not the last one.
Mm.
Oh, okay, this is not the Jack I was thinking.
Yeah, not the one who was with Justine.
Fowler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
him. He's too fun. I
Fincham.
mean,
Finkham.
hmm.
Jack
And
Finkham.
then Nicole, I feel like you've seen some tea.
Oh, yeah, I thought this was interesting. I have to investigate a little bit more, but I saw a TikTok this week
Mhm.
that basically showed footage of Luca and Harriet at a school dance or something, it seemed. And then it was like the caption was the fact that Luca and Harriet have known each other from childhood and they don't talk to each other in the villa. I remember Luca is from, he's like sort of close from the same place that Harriet's from, right? Like Brighton. Anyway,
Mm.
I
Hmm.
will have to do more investigating, but I
Hmm.
thought that was interesting. Either like really interesting old footage that they found or something. But that is kind of weird that they would know each other and not talk about it on the show at all.
No,
Hmm.
the reason for that, I think, is because Luca was dating Harriet's friend, Harriet's childhood friend. I forget what her name is, but they were dating before he went on Love Island first.
Okay.
So they have a little bit of a history with
Huh.
that.
Okay, yeah, because I did see that Harriet's friends with a YouTuber. And so okay, I get it because he used to date this like famous YouTuber and that's how they're
Yeah.
connected. Anyway,
Yeah.
we did the investigative work here,
Mhm.
people. We figured it out.
Somehow we connected the
That's
dots there.
hilarious.
And he is from Brighton. They're both from Brighton, so that makes it all work out.
Yep.
I actually have one more scoop, which is kind of cool. Moira, our girl, is now the face of Mac's latest campaign. Because obviously we spoke about Maya was the face of Dolce & Gabbana. And honestly, I've actually been looking online and Mac's sort of coming back.
It
I'm
is,
not,
yes.
which I'm not
yes.
hating because Ruby Woo had a chokehold on me. Okay.
Yes,
Mac was great.
Mora is like all that she's posting is about Mac. I was wondering how she even has like a whole Mac channel on her socials.
And Mac
Oh, that
makeup
makes
actually
sense.
is really good. Like when I think if you think
Good
like
for her.
professional makeup, I'm like, yeah, good for her. We love Moira, happy for her, but we'll see.
Okay, well, we're gonna try out the
Yay.
Moira whatever she is touting lipstick.
Yeah.
Let's
And
do it.
that's it on Scoop on the Streets this week.
All right. All right, everyone, that concludes our episode today. Thank you for joining us for our fourth episode of season 5. We will be back next Thursday to recap more episodes of Love Island All Stars season 2. We do this podcast for fun. It's like our little baby. We pour a lot of time and effort into making these good. So if you enjoy this episode, please share, give it to a friend, tell them how much you like it, and also give us a 5-star. It helps other people discover our podcast as well as the algorithm gods helps them discover us as well. We also have a newsletter that you can subscribe to. It's in our show notes. It's called Scoop on the Streets, and it has all of the juicy gossip that happens throughout the week. So make sure to subscribe to that. And obviously, we're on the socials. You can follow us at Proper Chat Pod, both on Instagram and TikTok. But until next time, stay proper and stay chatting.
Oh.